Our site sits right on the edge of a mesic to wet forest, and the ʻAlalā in this release cohort are going to have access to a wetter forest just nearby. So where we're sitting now is a little bit drier, but as you go upslope and you go more to the windward direction, it becomes a lot wetter. And those habitats also have more of the native plants, more of the native fruits, which the ʻAlalā are known to forage on. And because ʻAlalā are known as a historically really important seed disperser and playing an important ecological role in Hawaiian forests, we wanted to find a place that would be suitable for them where they could find those fruits and engage in those behaviors. Yeah, for the last couple of years, there's been a lot of permitting, planning, and some outreach that's been done to try and make people aware of the work that we're doing. And yeah, it's really exciting to be kind of at the point where we could think about releasing the birds. We understand how valuable ʻAlalā are as a cultural resource as well as a biological resource. You know, they play a huge role in Hawaiian culture, just as much of a role as they do in the Hawaiian forest. Those two things are linked. And so it's an honor and a responsibility to participate in this work. And the collaborative spirit of all the people involved is a really important part of the success of these kind of projects. And so a big goal of ours is working together, knowing that some of these challenges are really difficult to overcome. And of course the species was so close to being completely extinct that it's really a precious thing that we're trying to save. And we're hoping that if we can get down the road of recovery for ʻAlalā, that everyone can celebrate that.
The current release site is a wetter forest. The terrain is different than their previous release sites. There's a lot more water features and steep terrain. They also are able to live in a forest here without the presence of EO, which is one of their predators on the Hawaii island. So we're going to be learning a lot of new things about the species as they navigate through a different forest type than maybe they've been released previously. One of the things we do to acclimate the birds to the forest is we move them into a pre-release aviary that we've built in the forest. They're able to see out of it and see their surroundings and kind of acclimate to all the different sights and sounds. They spend about a month in the aviary, possibly more if they need to, or possibly less if they're ready. And then during this time, we're giving them supplemental food, and we're monitoring their behavior, their health, as well as taking weights a few times a week. We also monitor their social dynamics to make sure they're all getting along together as a group, so that they're kind of a solid cohort and there aren't any negative social interactions. That way they're able to be released together and navigate through the forest together successfully.
Short term, we want to see these guys healthy, thriving, feeding from our feeders outside, and also feeding from the native landscape, getting all those berries and things that we've gone out and kind of collected and introduced to them, and feeding themselves and kind of weaning off of that diet that we're providing for them. And that would be more of like the long-term goal, to see them thriving out on the landscape.
One of our hopes is that when they're released, because these are young juvenile birds, that they will stick together, watch each other, and learn from each other. But aside from those behavioral criteria, all of these birds are in very good health. We've provided them with conditions so that they can really build up all of their flight muscles, so that they can move easily from tree to tree and exist outside of an aviary setting. Through our partnerships, we work to bring those birds into our center to give them a safe place to be until we can make the wild safe for them again. Within our center, we provide them with the conditions that they need in order to survive and hopefully thrive, and to get those birds to start reproducing and get their numbers up to a point that we can start reintroducing them to the wild.